Hey, happy Thursday, everybody. It's chamber check-in time. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Today, I have a special guest to share their story and their new adventure. I have Mr. Don Kemper with us today. Hi, Don.
Howdy, pleased to be here.
Hey, thanks for carving out a little time. I'm so excited to share a little bit about your work history in the Valley and talk about what's new with you. But first, Don, I get to thank our series sponsor for these events, and it's Delta Dental of Idaho. And Don, you know Delta Dental of Idaho. They provide best in class dental insurance benefits to Idahoans, and they've been doing it for over 50 years. And with that, I get to share a fun video um, from their video series. Here we go.
Cavities are 100% preventable, and most plans actually cover those routine cleanings at 100%. You're going in and there's nothing out of pocket for you. Get your teeth cleaned. It feels so good.
Thank you, Delta Dental. Well, Don, I know we were having a hard time getting on the call because of that game that was just on.
Maybe next year, right?
Maybe next year.
Although they did such a great job this year, and they could have won today. They absolutely could have won.
What a great comeback, huh? Oh, anyway, Don, hey, thanks for carving out some time. You recently joined the chamber with Citizens Climate Lobby, and I want to learn more and share more about that. But you ran a company here for 41 years. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and work history before we dive into Citizens Climate Lobby?
Sure, I had the dream job. Age 29, I founded HealthWise in 1975 and stuck with it for 41 years. And with the same mission, HealthWise mission was to help people make better health decisions, nonprofit, but really national, international, global company that, by the time I left, which was 2016, 2 billion times people had gone to HealthWise information to help them decide, do they need this test? Do they need this drug? Do they need this surgery? And, what can I do for myself? So I was really proud of that work, not just the work, but how we did it, because HealthWise had a big focus on the culture of work. So that was a good thing. But then, of course, I retired. I gave a 5-year notice, but but then at age 70, I retired. And then what do you do? Right.
Well, you're talking about culture, Don, and I live up next to HealthWise, and I still have many friends that work for the organization, and your culture there was cool before culture was cool. I remember just the first thing I heard about was, oh, you guys can have dogs in the office, and you're able to. There's like a hammock outside, and how much you guys did with the trail system right behind HealthWise as well. Tell us a little bit about that and why culture is so important.
Well, in the early days, we used to have meetings on the way up to Bogus. That was
Right.
the nice part. But it's basically, when you want to come to work, you do better work. And so we created an organization where people really wanted to work and wanted to do the job, wanted to make the mission happen. And that was an exciting thing for us and still is, I believe.
Okay. Well, so you mentioned retirement. So why rejoin the chamber
Ah,
after in retirement?
well, we'll get to that. But retirement, immediately, I didn't want to go into founder syndrome. So when I retired, Molly and I left town for 6 months. We went to Scotland. And then when I came back, trying to figure out, well, what's next for me? What do I do? Didn't need to do things for money anymore. But my one of my skills is to look around the corner. And so I like to look around the corner and see what's coming and then help people adjust to that. And so when I started looking around the corner, all I saw was climate change. If you look at the economy, the biggest impact on the future economy is climate change. If you look at agriculture, climate change is going to be the biggest thing. If you looked at poverty, climate change will have a bigger impact on poverty than anything else we've imagined. And if you looked at even political stability, as we're seeing in Ukraine, climate change is going to be driving that boat for a good while. So I thought, all right, what do I do with that? Where do I, how do I find out what's around the corner in climate change, and then what do I do with it?
So, what is Citizens Climate Lobby? Tell us a little bit about the organization, when it was founded, um, and what's, is it a local outfit here? Is it global? Tell us about that.
Okay, you bet. Because I started looking at all of the organizations that work in the environment. The Sierra Club, the Conservation Voters of Idaho. A lot of really good players. Well, all of those groups. They'll come to mind in a minute. But then I looked at CCL, so Citizens Climate Lobby, CCL. It's a pretty targeted group. They're international. They have almost 600 chapters, multiple chapters in every state in the US, but then in virtually every country from Argentina to Zimbabwe, there are Citizens Climate Lobby chapters. And their task is to create the political will for climate solutions. And in the US, sort of job number one is the Citizens Climate Lobby meets with every member of Congress twice a year, sometimes with their staff, but often with the member himself. And they're just trying to bring forward the best education around what's causing the climate change and what are the best opportunities to slow it down, stop it, or reverse it. So that's what we are. And, every 2 years we meet with twice every year we meet with these guys, and we're seeing changes, subtle changes over time. And that's exciting. So that's what we do. The second thing we do is to talk to people like we're doing today.
Right.
And that's one reason why I joined the chamber. Talk to people about climate. It's an easy thing to talk about. People can see it happening all around them. But for some reason, you need a little bit of extra permission to start talking about the climate. So we're doing that. And all of that is part of creating this political will to make solutions.
How many Idaho chapters are there?
Probably 5 or 6. I think there may be 5 and 6 or 7, 2 more maybe in the formations, but
Okay.
Right, they're scattered around the state, and there's even one that's for all of the outlayers, that have come in together as one. Right.
Okay. So what types of gatherings do the Idaho chapters do? Is the Boise chapter just specifically doing things in the Treasure Valley? Or tell me more about that.
Right. There are probably 3 ways that you can participate with Boise's chapter of Citizens Climate Lobby. And the first and the easiest way is to join our monthly call program. So, for example, when we used to go meet with our members of Congress, our senators, representatives, they would say they don't hear anything from their voters about climate. We said, well, let's sort of change that. So a few years ago, we started this monthly call program where you get a prompt. It's easy to do. You get a prompt, it gives you the phone number, you make the call, you talk generally not to the member, but you talk to a staff member, or you call after hours and you talk to the voice machine. And you just talk about something important to you related to climate. And CCL is really good at giving you prompts for what you can do about that. So that's a 5-minute per month commitment. You take 4 minutes and 50 seconds to do your call, if you need that long, and 10 seconds just to report that you did. Click the button, I reported. And so this past year, there were about 30,000 of those calls made by the CCL volunteers. And that's triple what it was the year before. So if you really want to help, join the call program, and we'll try to triple again, because you can ignore one letter, but when you get 30,000 letters, you begin to take note, and it does help to build that political will to get serious about climate solutions.
Okay. And how long have you been involved, Don, with the
About 2
organization?
years, a little over 2 years.
Okay.
So,
And how many is it a membership organization?
well, we have a list of people, but you don't really become a member. So
Okay.
it's just you're connected. So you're connected. If you want to go to the second level of participation, you can become an active member. Uh, Again, the name member is kind of loose, but active member, we have monthly meetings. In fact, our monthly meeting is tonight. So at 7:30, at 7 o'clock tonight is the meeting. And there, if you want to use your skill set or your passions or your interests to participate more, there are lots of ways you can sign up. For example, the easiest way is the monthly call program. The next level is, suppose you're a good writer and you can join the writing team that's sending letters to the editors, all over the state. So, try to get in a guest opinion or a letter to the editor every few months, and that's a great thing. Or if you're good at social media, we have teams that are working on that. For example, in the news lately, the University of Idaho has been releasing it's a long name. It's the Idaho Climate Economy Impact Assessment. And it's a long-term, I think 2-year study of the climate as it affects Idaho. And it's very scientific. What our social media team is doing is taking some of the facts out of that very scientific report and putting it into terms that relate to me and you, that can be delivered by social media. For example, I don't know if you have kids or if your kids are in youth soccer, but one of the things is, if you have kids in youth soccer, just note that last year there were quite a few games that were called because of smoke.
Yeah.
And based on this assessment, we know there are going to be more days of smoke in the future. That's a way to bring climate change home to you. And so in a very easy to understand, direct way. Another group you might join would be, if you're a churchgoer, and a lot of our members are churchgoers, is that there's a group that's working with churches on getting their religion's approach to climate protection and what we think is the role of the church in that. And then if you want to dig really deep and understand what's causing it and what solutions might make a difference, there's a group that's doing what's called En-ROADS, EN-ROADS, which is a climate simulator. And we put on workshops that'll let people like you, Paul, say, well, here's what I think we should do to solve the climate problem. And then we can use that simulator to show how that would work and how it would work with other solutions as well. And we can actually build the solution right in front of you that would lower the temperature by the end of the century.
So what does success look like for Citizens Climate Lobby?
Well, success in the long run looks like no more climate change. We're basically conservatives, and a conservative just wants things to stay the same. We like our climate. We want it to stay the same. So in the long run, we're stopping climate change. We're stopping global warming. We're stopping sea level rise. We're stopping the killer tornadoes and hurricanes that are increasing because of climate change. That's the long run. But Rome isn't built in a day, and it's going to take us a while to do that. It's going to take the whole world a while to do that. That's why I'm so pleased Climate Change is a global organization working across the board, etc. There are even, I don't know what's happened to them, but there's even chapters in Russia. I don't know what's going on today, but we'll see where that goes. Right.
So Don, I have the website scrolling on the bottom of the screen for people that are listening to take a look at it, learn some more. We have a few minutes left, Don, and I just want to give you some time is there anything else that you'd like to educate the listeners on today's episode?
Well, you had asked the reason I joined the chamber, and the reason is When I look around the corner and see this is a big thing, and then when I look around the business community, I see a big divide. The big companies, the Micron, Simplots, HP, Idaho Power, all are looking at climate change. They've all got their sustainability groups, and they're looking at how that's going to change their business, what they can do to prevent that change, what they can do to take advantage of any changes. So that's there. The small businesses don't have much going for it. And so my thinking is the chamber, with its amazing reputation in this community, has an opportunity to play a role and help those small organizations really understand the risks that are coming to them because of climate change, and indeed how they can avoid those risks and maybe become climate smart is the term we're liking to use.
I love it. It was so good to meet you in person at the Congressional Forum with Senator Crapo a few, maybe last month, and got to shake your hand and look in the eyes and meet you in person. That was really cool, Don. And thank you for taking time with me today and investing in the chamber. That means so much to us. Again, listeners, citizensclimatelobby.org. Check out their website. And I look forward to our next conversation, Don.
Super. All right. Thank you, Paul. Have a wonderful day. Right.
Happy
St. Patty's Day. Sorry.
Happy St. Patty's Day.